Hello everyone, welcome to my talk. Hope you guys are doing good. Today we'll be talking about empowering non-profiting with enterprise data warehousing. We'll be talking about what is data warehousing, how we can empower non-profits when you build the data warehousing, and we'll also focus on solution delivery, right? Seamless integration of CRM, donation, and program management data, some of the predictive analytics with the machine learning capabilities, how we can automate data processing for consistent results, and how the important bit is secure role-based access management. Let's dive into our session. We'll be talking about overview of enterprise data warehousing, followed by some of the benefits of your organization. What is enterprise data warehousing? A powerful centralized data ecosystem that unifies all your organization's information in one secure location, essentially foundation of tracking long-term trends, measuring impact, and making data-driven decisions. That is our end goal when you build the enterprise data warehousing. How we can make sure our data is so meaningful and will impact the business. Strategic tools that revolutionize how nonprofits harness data to amplify their social mission and create lasting change. Let's talk about some benefits for your organization. Transform manual process into automated workflows, saving valuable staff time and the resources. Make confident data-backed decisions by action comprehensive insight across all programs and operations. Strengthen donor relationship through data-driven personalization and targeted engagement strategies. Demonstrate your organization impact with the precise measurement and compelling impact reports. Now let's talk about unlock the potential of data for nonprofits. So what are the stages we need if you wanted to unlock the potential of data for your organization? Right. We talk about the three steps here. Like one is strategic decision making, the data automation, and empower your teams. Right. So when you say strategic decision making, turn complex data into compelling insights that guide resource allocation, program development, and impact measurements to advance your mission with confidence and the clarity. And the data automation eliminate repetitive tasks and manual data entry by building an integrated data ecosystem that connects all your systems, saving hundreds of staff hours while improving accuracy, right? So how best you are doing the automation of your data, right? Like now you're bringing some data into some system and some other person is bringing the same data from the same systems but different end goal of it, right? Instead of that, make sure you have the streamlined process so that will avoid all these repetitive tasks, right? And empower their teams. This is one of the key area which we need to talk about. It's not only in building the enterprise data warehouse, but it will impact overall organization. The best you empower your team, you will get to the more benefits out of from the team. Break down information barriers and equip your teams with real-time data access, enabling them to make informed decisions faster and focus their energy on creating lasting social impact. So if you focus on these three, this definitely will help us to better shape our data in our organization. Now let's talk about some core technical capabilities when you build the enterprise data warehousing, right? So let's talk about cloud-based infrastructure, the ETL processing, advanced analytics engine, data governance framework. So I am talking of this for the cloud-based infrastructure. I'm talking now because like now whole world is moving into the cloud-based system, right? And again, just a suggestion, right? Like now based on your in your organization and the budgets, we can choose what are the infrastructure best works for you. Just wanted to make sure that's a scalable, secure, and ensuring 24/7 data availability. And also you have the disaster recovery plan in place. So this is some of the organizations I like now tend into miss the disaster recovery plan. But this is one of the key element we need to consider. Like when you have the disaster recovery plan, so you can sleep. You can sleep that you if something goes wrong, you have always a plan B in place, right? And when you have the data disaster recovery plan, make sure it's updated whatever the schedule you have from the main fraud system to the recovery instances, right? And then let's talk about the ETL processing. We're not talking about any specific tools. There are some tools in the market, but whatever works for you guys, you can definitely choose those tools. But ETL processing will help us to bring the data from the different sources, and it will cleanse your data, and it will make sure it's properly transformed with the right rules and eliminating all the junk data. And it also helps to set the load the data the right time, right? What are the time frame you and your organization works for you guys, right? So this will work in the both ways. One is to bring the data, right, and to update the data into the periodically, right? So that's when the ETL processing plays a major role, right? And we'll also talk about SCD2, how that will impact, right? Then we'll talk about that space as well. And then advanced analytics engines build in the statistical analysis and the machine learning capabilities for predictive insights here. So that's what I wanted to focus here. So since everyone is talking about the AI and machine learning, uh, to make that AI works better, our the warehouse and the architecture and our data should be good enough, so that way you will get the good value out of it, right? If you have the bad data and if you apply on the AI analytics on the top of it, technically you will end up with different results, right? To avoid those things, so like we need to make sure our data is qualified and quality, and meet other aspects as well. And another one is the data governance framework. This is also very important. The part I would say when you're building the enterprise data warehousing. So if I put it in the simple term, why we need the data governance, right? Yes, you can build the enterprise data warehousing without data governance framework, but having the data governance in place, which means you are making sure entire your organization is talking the same language. It means, for example, if you talk about a example, let's say country, right? So maybe one source bringing data, a country, say like the United States. From other source, you may see US. Here, another country, you can see USA, right? All these three are valid, right? And again, the departments also use a different terminology. But when the data governance in place, so they'll make sure you wanted to use the USA or United States of America or just US. So they will make the decision, that they'll discuss with stakeholders and make sure they why it is important, and they will help us. Okay, from now on, if country comes in, let's use as a USA, right? Whatever the organization is finalize the naming convention. Right? That is it's just an example, but we can talk a number of things which falls under the data governance. Yeah, so I would say this is also one of the important step we need to consider when you are building the enterprise data warehouse. Let's talk about the power of data integration. So why you wanted to integrate your data, right? It's really important. We'll talk about step by steps, but I'd like to give you a high level overview before we dive into more in detail. So let's say in your organization, you have data is coming from the CRM system, right? Most of the non-profit organizations can rely on a majority of the transactions on the CRM platform. And you have some other fundraising platforms. The data is pulling from some other the sources, right? And definitely you will have the finance system in every organization. And beside that, will also have like HR and other security and whatnot, right? Different the teams, right? And I would say business units, different business units, and they maintain the data into the different source systems. Now, if you don't integrate your data into the single platform, so you got isolated with your specific views, right? Let's say if you're only getting the CRM data into your in one of the database, right? So you always end up with providing the analytics out of that CRM data. But in some scenario, right, you wanted to know the analysis based on the CRM data along with the financial data. So then you don't have option to create or provide analytics to the management system. Combination of data is coming from the CRM and the financial, right? And vice versa. Or maybe, if you wanted to provide the high level summarize audio to a senior management system from combination of all the different business units. So if you don't have the data integrate in a single platform, and it's hard to provide the analytics to the senior. That's, I would say, one of the major benefit having that. And then if you're looking about the another aspect like the maintenance wise, or so the single team can maintain everything on same template on the same platform, and the maintenance is easy, and you'll have that in a single tool to maintain it, and you'll have structured the data, right? Yeah, like that kind of. We have many other benefits when you integrated data from the multiple systems, right? With that process, what we need, right? Okay, we are talking about the data integration, but how you gonna do it, right? That is the key aspect here. So what we need, right, like advanced data pipeline architecture, the architecture is the key role here, right? The more strong your architecture, and when you build the architecture, it's worth spending more time when you're building the architecture to consider the 360 degrees angle, right? So that will help you to accommodate the existing some of the known issues and the future, like now whatever the issues we're gonna end up, right? This is the important thing, right? That's what my another point saying. If scalable architecture is also one of the key here, and secure integration protocols, right? Like now how secure you are bringing the data and making sure they're integrating, right? So that's also one of the key aspect here. And okay, you have established architecture which consider all the pros and cons and the feature of the system, right? And you have also making sure like all the secure integration in place, right? But how your data is going to be the syncing in the process, right? Like now, what time you wanted to sync your data. So are you wanted to go with the 6 a.m. or the 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. when the business comes into their desk, like your data is happening. So this is what we need to discuss a little bit more. When you set up the synchronization, it's not just a synchronization, right? Let's say business is asking for, okay, I need the data every 6 a.m., right? So we can set it up 6 a.m., but we need to focus a couple of things here. But then exactly source system is updating, right? If the source system is updating 9 o'clock, right? But if you set up your synchronization 6 a.m., so obviously we will not have the updated data, right? So we need to make sure and consider both angles and explain to the business saying come up with a common decision and providing the pros and cons, right? So that is one of the synchronization area which we need to focus. And the data quality and the monitoring, right? I will talk about in detail each and every point here. But yeah, so the data quality, scalable architecture, compliance management, right? So I would say if you follow all these steps, so that will give us, help us to get the a place where we have the data, we integrated data in the well formed manner. Okay. So now let's talk about the building a robust data warehouse, right? So I will again call it about the four pillars here, right? Data integration, data quality, data modeling, and data analysis and visualization. So data integrations, as we discussed, right? Like we need to follow all the steps which we discussed, right? And the data quality, implement the validation rules and automated cleansing workflow that catch errors before they impact your decisions. Our systematic approaches ensure your data remains pristine, reliable, and ready to drive meaningful action across your organization. And the data modeling. This is really the important, one of the important part which will play as a major role. So whoever is building the data model, like normally people use like the data modelers, we'll call it as, and we have the couple of tools for to build the data modeling. But whichever tool which you are opting, right? Make sure our the logical physical data model in place. And so when you see the logical, so you will have all the table and how they establish the relation between each tables, and what is the dependency and how they're related. So the clear logical structure has to be there, and it has to run by effective teams, and then followed by need to build the physical data model, which will give you even more detail, right? What is the table, right? Each table contains what kind of elements, what are the primary and foreign keys, and what is the relationship between them, what kind of data each table holds. So these two documents are really key aspects to move forward to build the enterprise data warehousing. So again, like make sure we have captured this step and we followed without missing it, because this is the step which we are going to use as a future reference, right? Like now if something you wanted to see it, so we have, this is a place where we are going to use the reference as a master copy, right? And data analysis and visualization. As everyone knows, our end goal is to provide a best visualization with the data analysis, right? So that way, that meaningful analysis, when the management is saying, they can take the informed decisions based out of the visualization which we provided, right? That's when we achieved our end goal, right? Just having the enterprise data warehouse, and if you are not providing any analytics or visualizations to the management, that might be the different way of looking into it, right? So how best we can provide the visualization file, like operational reports and analytical reports. So operational versus analytical reports, right? So we can talk about operational reporting means the reports which business is looking for near real time data, right? And when you're looking for analytics, like now it's you can set the rules whether it's the T minus 1 day data or T minus 2 day data, based on again your source system, how you set up the scheduling and how that works. Right now, let's talk about the data quality. Right, this is one of the key. I like it because what I believe here is, no matter how the best reporting visualizations, right, or no matter how big volume of data you are giving to your management, if the data is not accurate, if data is not quality enough, so obviously it will lead to in other direction. So that is the reason we wanted to make sure what are the data we are bringing into our warehouse. It should be quality enough, and to do that, we just need to ensure all these steps we have followed, right? Smart data validation, like we have different ways of validating it, right? So you need to connect to the smart data validation, real-time quality monitoring, clear data standards, advanced data profiling, automated cleansing workflow, and data governance framework in place, right? So when you follow the 6 steps and make sure in each step you have set the right rules and you have validated and everything and executed well, right? So that's when you will get the quality of the data in your warehouse along with the data governance framework. Now let's talk about the data modeling, uncovering actionable insights. As we talked about, right, we divided into the 2 parts, right? The large scale data model and the physical model. Okay, the donor segmentation, right? We wanted to segment different level right here. So create dynamic donor personas using advanced clustering analysis that combine giving patterns, engagement metrics, and demographic data to deliver hyper-personalized outreach that increase the donor retention by up to 30%. And then the next step, program performance analysis and operational efficiency tracking, and predictive analytics integration, and multidimensional data modeling. To consider all these, we need to build this multidimensional data modeling before we start to build the enterprise data warehousing. Now let's talk about the data analysis and visualization. This is the driving informed decision making, right? As we mentioned before. So how this is gonna work, right? Strategic decision intelligence and donor relations cultivation, real-time analytics integration, operational performance optimizations, interactive visualization tools, custom reporting framework, right? So that based on the reports which we provide, based on the data in our warehouse, that's when strategic decisions make the decisions here. And this will also help like now on relationship cultivation. So based on the visualizations or the based on the data which we provided to the management, so they will analyze how the dollar cultivation is working. And yeah, real-time analytics integration, implement real-time analytics capability with automated data refresh pipelines, enabling immediate insights and rapid response to changing conditions through live monitoring dashboards. So this is what we were talking about, the operational, the reporting system, right? So we need to build and our warehouse should be sustainable to provide the real-time data warehousing. So again, like this will work case by case. So your source and your the ETL and your jobs and your reporting, what are the reporting systems you're using? We need to align in the same place in order to provide the real-time analytics, right? So it's not that easy. When we say the real-time data analytics, you're gonna get it like when you plug in from source to warehouse and from the reporting, right? So some reportings work the different way and some reports work in the different way, right? Now compared to the live connection versus the extract connections, right? We need to make smarter decisions based on the business needs, like when the business is for the real-time analytics. But I haven't shared, but in real-time analytics is the key for any organization to take informed decisions and on the fly. Right? Interactive visualizations, like definitely that will gonna the game changer. Like when you provide interactive visualizations, like which means so when I say the interactive analysis means right. So when you click on maybe the map, right? Like for instance, if you consider the map, the US map having all the states. So when you click on maybe the New Jersey or the New York, like now you're gonna see on the same the state related entire information followed by just one or two click based on that interaction how we set up. And then having that custom reporting framework, this will also helpful for any organization to set up the template so that we can follow the same template for across the organization. So these are all the steps will help us to provide the best analytic platform. Look, transforming operations and automation and collaboration, right? Automated reporting, real-time analytics, department collaboration, advanced integration hub, and the predictive analytics engine. So this all will help us to place where we provide the all the automation with the help of all this collaboration, right? So that's when we are going to provide a complete end-to-end 100% automated the analytics based on the cross-departmental collaboration, setting up the real-time analytics and setting up the automated systems in entire end-to-end flow, right? So that will really help us to provide the transforming operations. Now let's talk about some case studies, right? Outcomes of how that world is successful, these stories, so implementing the enterprise data warehousing. Right. So yeah, these are the some statistics which I collected. Right. Example of non-profit is in the AWS, like boost fundraising success through. So that way, that's when you can boost your fundraising, right? And improve transparency and accountability with automated reporting, align strategy goals with the mission impact, and achieve 60% reduction in data processing time, implement real-time cross-platform data integration, enhance data security and compliance framework, right? So discover how enterprise data warehousing or your evaluation non-profit operations, enabling organization to unlock valuable insights, boost efficiency, and accelerate social impact across critical sectors. So this is the real, this one example demonstrates the transforming power of strategic data integration. So each case study tells a story of innovation, right? Yeah. highlighting how nonprofits have leveraged data to enhance organizational performance, optimizing resource allocation, and create a measurable, lasting community impact through modern ETL process. The cloud-based architecture and advanced analytics capabilities, these organizations have transformed their technical infrastructure while maintaining a focus on their core missions. Now let's talk about building a data-driven future for non-profits. So increase fundraising success. That's what our end goal, right? How we can increase our fundraising success, right? And improve transparency and accountability and strategic alignment impact and scalable data infrastructure, advanced analytics integration, and automated data governance. So increase the fundraising success, right? So let's talk about this, how this is going to help. So data-driven fundraising strategies enables nonprofits to personalize appeal, identify potential donors, and optimize campaign performance, right? Based on all these steps, we can increase our fundraising success, right? How we can measure this fundraising success and improve transparency and accountability. Please enhance transparency by providing clear and consistency data about donor contribution, program outcomes, and financial performances and the alignment and impact. The data-driven insights enable nonprofits to align their program and initiatives with their strategic goals, maximize their impact, and achieving their mission. Now let's talk about scalable data infrastructure as we discussed it, right? So your data infrastructure has to be scalable enough, right? Having 24/7 data up and running and you have the disaster recovery plan in place, right? So we need to consider the cost of maintaining cost efficiency and the performance, right? And advanced analytics integration, right? Built-in analytics capabilities enable predictive modeling, machine learning, and real-time reporting for data-driven decisions making. Automated data governance. Robust data governance framework ensure data quality, security, and compliance with the regulatory requirement across all the system. Now let's touch with some of the challenges in when you're implementing the enterprise data warehousing. The complex system integration requiring specialized expertise to connect the multiple data sources as we discussed it, right? Like it's not just entry-level people can plug and play, right? So we need to understand like the 360 degrees of the user needs and existing systems, the technologies we use, all these things. Time-consuming data cleaning and transformation to maintain the quality across the system organizational resistancy to new data systems requiring training and change management. Try to we never know, right? Let's say today we have our four systems in place. Like tomorrow we may have one more system which will be onboarded into our organizations. So we need to make sure we need to consider the the future systems as well. All right. Ongoing commitment to governance, including security updates and compliance, performance and scalability challenges the data volume grow, right? So when you are building the data warehousing, so your data volume may be 1 terabyte, right? You never know that may grow like maybe 5 TB or the 10 TB, right? We just need to make sure at least you plan for the next 5 years with a predictive analysis, like how our data is going to be and where we are going to land. Right? Based on that, you can build the entire infrastructure. Right? The technical capability issues between different platforms and enterprise, right? When we are dealing with the different platforms. So what are the technical capabilities we may end up, right? So we need to well document and prepare for that. Security and privacy risks when handling sensitive data across the jurisdiction, right? This is a key aspect which we need to consider, making sure in all the security privacy risks which we are handled and we manage the data, right? Based on the different environments, right? And use your masking, how you are going to handle the masking the data, right? When you have the sensitive data in your warehouse, right? So we need to set up the rules based on the data, making sure we follow the security and the privacy risks, right? Now next steps to implement and like since we learned some of the steps how we can implement the enterprise data warehousing. So you need to have you need to have the clear objective and the right teams and the right technologies, the project plan, right? Yeah. So we are going to talk about those things here. So define clear objectives and success metrics aligned with your non-profit vision. Form a cross-functional implementation team and assess current data landscape, right? And what is going to be our data volume like over the period based on the existing data, right? We can do some analytics based on the existing data so that at least we know where we are going to land next 5 or 10 years. Yeah. And select and configure an appropriate data warehousing solution that fits into your needs and budget. Yeah, means the tools, right? The teams, how they gonna work. So, and based on their needs, right now, that's when you need to focus some of the areas here. So, develop comprehensive implementation plan, including timeline, resource, and risk management. So, this is when you showcase to the management. So, you're going with the clear directions and the timeline, saying that, hey, this is what we are, like where we are right now. And when you're implementing the EW, what we are going to achieve, right? Why we need to invest so much of money into the enterprise data warehousing, right? It's not benefit like one thing, right? You need to prepare that plan. What are the teams you need? What are the skills that you need? What are the technologies you need? If you don't have already in our organizations, right? That is the prep work which we need to have it before we present this decision and build secure data pipeline with proper validation and the quality controls. So that's when the secure pipeline and the quality controls, right? Like when you implement, like now, when if you wanted to build the historical data, you need to implement SCD2. When I say SCD2, it's one of the concept where you maintain the current and the history data. You call it we call it as a slowly changing dimension type 2, right? SCU2, that is we call it. Yeah. So we need to make sure we follow the same and we should maintain the current history. That is one of the key aspects to maintain your enterprise data warehousing. Then launch staff training program to ensure effective system adoption and utilization. So this again, like once we are done implement the solution, so we need to have the staff training program to ensure system is adapted and it is usable and everyone is benefiting out of it. Yeah. So when you have all this plan in your place and you can move forward. And again, so this is all the steps in which I came across in my journey, right? You may need to tweak based on your organization needs and based on your based on your organization, the data volume and the technologies and the resources, right? But primarily, if you follow the steps which we discussed, definitely you gonna have the really secure and quality data in your enterprise data warehousing, and business will definitely benefit out of bring the data from the enterprise data warehousing as a operational and analytics reporting system. With that, thank you so much for joining my talk. I hope you learned something. Hope to see you in some other time. Thank you all. Thank you so much.